So let's look at selling a whole chicken. Isn't that ridiculous?
And by the way, Zach is getting in more and more into farming all the time. So this is all real life stuff. I swear he's building his next campaign right now. This is awesome.
Yes, that's exactly it. I'm multitasking.
So what are the key components to marketing and sales? How do some of the most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders set up freedom frameworks that we all got into business for in the first place? How did they find the time, energy, and resources to launch and scale strong? And how do Rockstar entrepreneurs and business leaders with that champion mindset align their time, money, and energy in a way that will allow us to reach what we set out to achieve? These are the key questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Chamberlain. This is the Convert on Command podcast. Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast, sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.
Yo, welcome to the Convert on Command podcast, y'all. I am fired up to have you. Brian Chamberlain here, and I got my partner, Zach Shanky, on the other line. And today, we are going over Chapter 9 in our book called Passion to Profits, How to Ignite Impact and Income, even if you don't know where to start. And we, like I said, we're on Chapter 9 right now. What's Chapter 9 called, Zach?
Online Presentation Optimization.
Online Presentation Optimization. So we're going to be diving in. And when I say we, I'm basically just facilitating here, okay? I might jump in a little bit here and there to kind of like add or like ask a question even, just to kind of keep it engaging. But Zach wrote this entire chapter, and I'm excited to learn myself. And then for those of you that are listening for the first time, very important. Look, obviously, this is not a typical podcast. We are literally in the middle of writing a book. I sometimes have, like throughout this podcast, I've interviewed people, some of the most notable people in the entrepreneurial space. People who are respectively the best in their respective fields. And right now in this season, we are just really focused on helping as many people as we can turn their passion into profits using marketing, digital marketing, and sales. And so that's what this book is all about, basically helping you turn your passion into profits, helping you ignite impact and income, even if you don't know where to start. And it's just, we've got an inner circle group that right now are literally in the trenches, and they are applying what's being taught in this book. They've been given all the tools, and we're seeing some really great results coming through. We're not even done the book yet, right? And so that's the really fun part.
Like, I want to say we're not even close, but it feels that way because there's 12 chapters, so we are actually close. But there's these last chapters are just so rich in content. Like it's going to be insane.
Yeah. And important to note that like this year we dedicated ourselves to this book. And so we are literally writing the first draft is happening in Q1 of 2021. We're doing a second draft in Q2, and we're calling them in seasons, right? Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4. So we're going to do 4 drafts in 2021 and then release this book in the first quarter of 2022. And so very, very exciting. We cannot wait for everybody to get their hard copy that's been involved in this, the Inner Circle group. The people who are actually in the Inner Circle group are also considered to be founders of the book, co-founders of the book. And they're really helping too, because every week you can, if you're listening to this right now, you're going to see by the end of this episode how you can, engage and get involved, and you can be a part of this movement as well. But also, submit questions weekly if you want to. But basically, our Inner Circle group have been submitting questions every single week, and then also, giving feedback so that we can make this the best possible content out there. Because we could have assumed that we know everything and wrote a book based on our assumptions of all the clients that we have all over the world, or we could really take people that are in the trenches and help them, and then get their feedback along the way of what they really want and need through their process as well, which will help way more people along the road, along the journey. So that's what this is all about. And with that, all that being said, look, without further ado, I'm going to pass it right over to Zach to take it on over, man. This is your floor today. Thank you so much for putting in the energy. I'm excited to learn.
Awesome, man. I am excited about this as well. Make sure to pass over host if you haven't yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I can share my screen.
Yeah. Changing over to host.
Okay. Let me just say this. The stuff that I put into this are things that took years, things that took a lot of failure to figure out, and I'm really stoked to share it with you guys. You get a shortcut into success in an online business. So, Chapter 9, Online Presentation Optimization. Believe it or not, online quote-unquote presentation has so much more to do with the words being presented than the actual design. Don't get me wrong, design is important. However, with the right message and copy on a page, most people can see success by using templates or by modeling after their competitors. Let me just touch on that really quick here in the book, but we'll also have some kind of supplemental training to show you how to actually do the build out and other tech items. So here's what I'll be covering in this chapter. Number 1, modeling design, plus the supplemental training, like I mentioned. Number 2, message positioning using the elephant method. Number 3, copywriting using our convert formula. And number 4, offer creation. So number 1, modeling design. My partner Brian is a design master. I am not. However, before going into business with Brian, I was able to create massive conversions by having the right message in front of the right audience. We covered audience in Chapter 7. So what did I do for the design side? After all, a web page can't have just words on it. I did design modeling. Basically, while doing my research, I also paid attention to how my competitors laid out their designs. I did not copy them. I simply modeled after them. The colors, images, and copy were 100% different. Even some of the bits of the actual layout, I would switch around. For example, I like to have the testimonials further up on the page rather than at the bottom. I highly recommend checking out our other supplemental training on other design concepts that are important, but for now, I'm moving on to the message, which by far is the most important part. So side note here, that supplemental training is not done. Okay, so it's not available as of yet, but we'll make it available as soon as possible. Make sense so far, Brian?
It makes sense to me. I love it.
Cool. All right, message positioning. The most common question I get when I say message and copywriting is, aren't they the same thing? And they are very, very different. The message is sometimes referred to as positioning or the angle. Basically, the message is the way your offer is presented that helps to illustrate the offer's value. Messaging is so much harder to explain than to just share examples. So let's dive right in. If we look at, sorry. Actually, I thought I took this part out. Cool, I left it in. Let's just keep going with it. If we look at Gatorade and Nike as a good example, what's their message? We all know Nike's "Just Do It" slogan, but that's not their message. Both Gatorade and Nike offer products to enhance athlete performance. That's the message. Gatorade could have positioned themselves as the best tasting thirst quencher or the most convenient, delicious drink to take on the road with your family. Instead, they focused on athletes and on the needed electrolytes athletes need to keep going. Nike could have said that they have the most comfortable shoes or the most stylish designs. Instead, they focused on athletes and how their shoes have to be the right amount of flexibility and support for their specific sport or activity. Those are messages. Let's look at McDonald's. They don't say healthiest or most delicious food on for any of their products. They focus on price and convenience. So the last example, and this one's my absolute favorite, so pay very close attention.
I just want to stop for 1 second, Zach. Not only do they focus on price and convenience, if you'll notice, they focus on happiness.
I love it.
Happiness is such a huge thing that they focus on. But yeah.
I love it. Yes, 100%. Last example. This is one, guys, that for me, and I should probably write this in there, this is really what helped me understand it. Okay, get this. When Dove Soap first became a business, they had someone absolutely genius behind the wheel of their marketing. See, Dove was trying to explain to people how their soap didn't dry out your skin like their competitors. But they were trying to portray this by explaining ingredients ABC and XYZ and blah, blah, blah. No one cared about that, and their sales reflected it. When they hired this Rockstar, however, he completely changed the game. For the life of me, I cannot recall who did this switch, but the lessons to learn remain the same. He looked at the Dove product and then at the other soap brands available, research, and he came to realize Dove soap was really different and amazing. He decided the only way to get the point across is not by going into the science babble, but instead stop calling it soap altogether. He went the opposite direction. From then on, Dove soap was now Dove moisturizer. Their ads explained how the new moisturizer not only left your skin feeling fantastic, but they also cleaned very effectively as well. You see the flip? So at first it was a soap, it left your skin moisturized. Now it's a moisturizer that leaves your body clean. So how can you create a similar effect with your message? I now present to you the elephant method. The elephant method is broken down into 5 steps. And the good news is you already have the hardest step completed. So step 1, research. 2, opposite, and I'll explain this. 3, call out the elephant. 4, justify. 5, audience tweaks. Like I said, we already covered the research portion in chapter 7, and that's the hardest part. Number 2 is all about doing the opposite of your competitors. That's what to say of.
Oh, that's all.
This is something. This is something you'll likely have to test out, but I want to share some examples. If you're a coach and your competitors are all talking about posting content daily, make an ad saying that you can get the same results by posting once a week. If you're a fitness coach and your competitors are saying you have to give up sugar and carbs, which is the keto diet, create content that illustrates how to lose weight while still enjoying bread, rice, and potatoes.
Nice.
Right?
We're going through this right now. I love it.
You simply look at the patterns in your competitor's message and you do the opposite. Now, if you say things like I wrote out with those examples above, your audience will have a massive doubt in their mind because it's so against the grain. That question is what I refer to as the elephant in the room, leading us to number 3, call out the elephant. Most marketers, they try their best to avoid talking about the elephant in the room. But the real gold is when you call it out. Personally, I like using the phrase, I know what you're thinking. So let's continue with the coaching and fitness coach examples above. I keep my pipeline full with just 1 post per week. I know what you're thinking. If you just do 1 post per week, how can you possibly get the same results as someone posting daily? And then the fitness one. I love nothing more than losing weight while enjoying rice, potatoes, and even a donut. I know what you're thinking. Didn't the keto diet prove that carbs and sugars are detrimental to your weight loss journey? Okay, calling out the elephant.
Totally good. So awesome, man. Like these are all things. By the way, can you bring that back up here for a second, Zach? By the way, like the stuff that he's referencing right now, like we're literally in the middle of with, so like like this, I keep my pipeline full with a post a week. That's typically how I've been playing the game for I don't know how long, maybe a post per week. And our pipeline is just completely like it's right on, right? So
Yeah.
so he's using a real life example there. And then here it says, I love nothing more than losing weight. Well, and even a donut. This is with our personal trainer, Zach. Zach.
Another Zach.
Another Zach. Zach Smith. Yeah. So our personal trainer, Zach Smith, is actually coaching us through this right now. We're helping him with his marketing. And he's got some serious, amazing testimonies and stories of how, well, one himself ate a burger a day and got amazing results. And he had another client, a donut a day. And then like he basically, the thing that he does different with everybody else is where other coaches will tell you, don't eat that. Like he's like, no. What's the one thing that you feel like you could eat every day and that you want to eat every day? And it's kind of like a crutch. I'm going to make sure you eat it every day. And we're going to build your plan around that.
Yeah.
And get amazing results. That is so against the grain, man. So anyway,
he was explaining that to us, and Brian's like, Zach, are you getting ideas for his message? And I'm like, so easy. This is going to be so easy.
So good. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to point out that these are real life scenarios. That he's not just pulling this content out of nowhere for no reason. Actually, at some point in time to offer context, Zach, in the future, in the upcoming drafts, but we'll have more context there because we'll have actually, gone through it, but it would be awesome to actually have the stories surrounding the reasons behind it.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, I'll let you continue.
Cool. Finally, once you call out the elephant, you have to justify it. Number 4. So back to the examples. I keep my pipeline full with just one post per week. I know what you're thinking. If you just do one post per week, how can you possibly get the same results as someone posting daily? Simply put, if my one post has more engagement than someone who posts 7 days a week, that one post will be shown to more people and my business will get more attention. Okay, moving on to the fitness example. I love nothing more than losing weight while enjoying rice, potatoes, and even a donut. I know what you're thinking. Didn't the keto diet prove that carbs and sugars are detrimental to your weight loss journey? Look, the keto diet can be effective, no argument there. But people have been in amazing shape long before keto became a fad. It's less about avoiding certain nutrients and more about having the right balance of those nutrients. So now the message
Boom.
is really...
Mic drop. Zing. So good. Yeah, I love it.
So you can actually see the message is really starting to grab hold and take shape using this method here. Let's take that. The last step here is to make tweaks to the audience or avatar. Typically, when I go through these steps, I start to see some things that might need to be changed in my empathy map and my freedom map. That's it. Now you have a message that'll grab attention and completely dominate your market. The next step is to learn how to explain and illustrate that message properly, which is copywriting. Okay, before I get into the copywriting, because this is a podcast, let me just tell you, messaging is the most important. Copywriting is the hardest. Okay, so I don't want that to make you feel like, crap, I can't do this. You can. Like, we make this so simple with our formula, and I'm going to show you that. But okay, copywriting. We're going to start to see how the freedom map plays a part in this whole process. Steps 3 and 4 of the freedom map, headlines and empathize, will be good to review before diving into an actual ad. Once those items are reviewed, you're in the right state of mind to write the actual long copy. Before I dive into our ad copy template, please note that this template will give you base copy. Basically, this can be used for VSLs, video sales letters, Facebook ads, and more. You can also take snippets of this base copy and use it for email campaigns or social media posts. This is where it all begins. We use our own formula called the CONVERT formula. CONVERT stands for context, open loop, nightmare, vision, expectation, result, trust, and call to action. Our formula even has some description of what to talk about in each section, and each one will flow into the other. I'm going to have the exact formula below with some copy I'm writing based on the research I did in Chapter 7 and on the fitness coach example above. Disclaimer, I'm not a fitness expert. And many of these facts may not be true. I'm literally making this up. The supplement described is 100% made up. This particular audience is for busy dads who are unhappy with their current energy levels. Okay, so here's the actual formula. So what I did here, guys, context, this is like the header for the formula. And then this is what you can talk about in that section. So italicized part. And then the rest is the actual copy. So under context, you want to set the context, establish credibility, and overcome the initial objection. Now, overcome is probably not the best word to use. You can actually use the initial objection as an open loop, as like a hook, if you want. So you might not have to overcome it. Maybe describe it. So here's what I wrote. Losing weight is not about the numbers on the scale. It's about having the energy to do the things we love with the people we love most. This sets context. Okay. After working with hundreds of busy fathers on their weight loss journey, I found the number one reason why nothing seemed to be working for them. Establish credibility. It had nothing to do with the diet and exercise. It had nothing to do with if the diet and exercise was the right fit, but it had everything to do with perspective. So opening up the discussion about objection here. Then we go into the open loop section. Tell them what they will learn if they read.
Just a second here. So I got a question. So if we go back up a little bit here, I love this. And by the way, for those of you that are listening on podcasts, you can't see the screen, but if you're watching this, you can actually go check this out on YouTube. We'll have all that stuff available to you. But we're looking at this where describe the initial objection. We're moving into open loop. So this last line, it kind of opens it up to that open loop, does it not? Because you're kind of like, it kind of creates, what would you call that, a cliffhanger? So it had nothing to do with if the diet and exercise was the right fit, but it had everything to do with perspective.
What? Curious?
Yeah. I love it. So that last line is describing the initial objection is like basically setting the stage for the open loop. And this open loop now, he's going into more context. Do I have that correct? Based on that, so we're going into. Are you basically? So, I'll let you keep going here, but I almost see a pattern happening here where you almost do that over and over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, love it.
So open loop. Tell them what they're going to learn if they read. Explain why they want to know, and then promise to prove it. So I'm going to break down the 3 pillars to weight loss for busy fathers. These key pillars are normally only discussed with my paid clients, so pay close attention and you may be able to change your habits today. Okay, so I told them what they're going to learn, why they want to know it, and I promised to prove it. They're going to change their habits today based on reading this.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Can you see why a person would be hooked? Like, outside of even fitness right now, okay? Or like if you were to do this in any kind of messaging using this formula, can you see why the right person would be completely hooked at this point?
Yep.
I'm hooked. Keep going.
So then we get into the nightmare. This is where you can start to really tell a story. So you begin with a painful moment, you explain the challenge and worst fears, you empathize with what's at stake, reveal the crisis that happened, and then explain what you lost or stand to lose, and proclaim what you decided to do about it. Okay? So here's what I
There's
hear.
some serious layers to this one.
I know. I know.
Wow.
And I wanted to do this because a common thing that I've gotten from students when I've coached them on copy, a common thing that I get is like, especially if they're an affiliate marketer or an agency owner, they're marketing for someone where they don't necessarily have the personal nightmare experience, you know? And so I did that here. Like, what if this fitness coach has been perfectly fit their whole life? Like since they were a kid, they were always involved in sports, always active, always fit. They've never had that crisis situation like Brian and I, where we're like, you know? So I tried to do something like that. So here's what I would do, something like this. Here's what I hear from my clients when I first get to know them. So now I actually can do a first person story as if it's my client telling me. Okay. So I'm tired after a stressful day at work. When I get home, I just want to collapse and go to sleep, but that's simply not an option. I do not want to be one of those guys that comes home and expects dinner to be ready. I love and support my wife, and I want to help when I get home. I'm just too exhausted. At the same time, I understand she's exhausted from her long day with the kids. I don't know how she does it, to be honest. And she deserves a break as well.
Yep.
Long story short, I just want to make it through the day at work and then be home to be a super father and husband because I have enough energy for that.
Yeah. Come on, preach.
And then the question at the end, sound familiar?
Wow.
Boom. So this here is the nightmare, right? What's the painful moment? I'm tired. I get home and I want to collapse. The challenge and the worst fears. I don't want to be one of those guys that expects dinner on the table.
Wow.
Right? So you go through each one of these. And honestly, this is a guideline. Sometimes I skip one, because it just doesn't make sense with the flow. But
yeah, it's not like this is written in stone. Like you need to, you're just what I would take away from this is it's better to have more, not need than to be in a scenario where you're sitting there like, where do I go from here?
Right.
So, yeah.
So then we move on.
So can we actually break this down though really quickly though? Because we got halfway through that list. Can you point out some of these things? Like, so we did here's what I hear from my clients. So I'm tired. That's the begin with the painful moment. I do not want to explain the challenge and worst fees. I'm just too exhausted.
I don't want to be that guy that expects dinner on the table when he gets home.
Is that the empathize part?
So no, that's the challenge and worst fear. That's
challenge, worst fear. Okay, so I'm just too exhausted. And at the same time, I understand she's exhausted. That's the empathy, but that's the empathy with the other individual. There would be a few different ways of framing empathy, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of empathizing. What's at stake here is like a healthy marriage.
Right.
It's implied underneath the writing, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
And then the crisis that happened, there's not really a crisis in this particular short story. And then explain what you lost or stand to lose. So it's really just you stand to lose being a super father and husband.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want to be.
Can like just to add some context here, this is so incredibly value filled. Like y'all should be taking notes if you're not, and you definitely need to join the course if you're not. But like one of the things that come to my mind, did we go over the pro method in the last chapter?
Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast. Sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.
No, that's the be in chapter 12.
Really? We wouldn't start with the pro method first. We would build this and then do the pro method.
Remember, this is the base copy. So this is the starting point. And then once we get into pro method stuff, this will change a little bit. We'll make tweaks.
See, and in my mind, you start with the hook and the pro method and then build around it.
Well, the thing is though, is you don't want because the pro method, you're going to end up, that's like 9 different combinations, and who knows what's going to end up being on top. So you don't want to write 9 different versions of copy.
That's true if we're running advertising right away, but for somebody who's going organic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the pain and stuff like that, that's part of the freedom map in chapter 7.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought we kind of went over some of those things.
That's why was it up here or was it down? It was in copywriting, sorry. Right here. Okay. Freedom map. You got to review your freedom map before
right. This. Right, okay. Yeah, no. Okay, it's guys, this is layers deep. Guys and gals, like this is super layers deep. This is great. Like I'm literally learning here. That's why I'm also asking questions, and I'm also asking questions from a position of having quite a good understanding of this stuff as well. So
you have to go through chapter 7 and have a freedom map done before you can do this.
Yeah,
like the research part, you have to really know your audience to really be able to write this. I mean, I just literally made this up using my own perspective as the position here, but yeah.
I would think too, Zach, that it might be good to kind of tie in a little bit of pro method, and only because if you remember earlier today, we were talking about how I'm going to be gifting our inner circle group on the hook.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And so.
So here, let me show you.
We don't need to do this right here, right now. But I mean, yeah, go ahead. What are you showing me? This is real-time learning, y'all. Real-time learning.
Yeah. So actually, I'm pulling up chapter 7. So in the freedom map, we kind of do it. So that's what I want to.
Kind of. So we're basically gonna like really bring it home by the time we get to that point. I like this. I'm getting more context as we go here.
Yeah. So if we look up, that's empathy map. Yeah. It's past that freedom map. Here we go. See, we're filling out the pains, the unique selling proposition, the result, the why, the objections.
Nice.
And then here we actually have these headline formulas. So how we go from being overweight to having enough energy with our kids.
It all makes sense now.
So all of this we do beforehand. So when we talk about the pro method, it's actually going to be really easy for them because they already mapped it out.
Right. This makes sense. Okay, this is going to help me with how I'm actually setting up our next email. So I just have to position it a little differently than the way that I was going to position it. See, y'all, we're learning. We're all learning here. This is so much fun. Okay, don't let us take away from the rest of the experience here. Let's get back into the game. Thank you for that, Zach. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Awesome.
No problem. I think it's good for everyone, actually.
Yeah,
so now they know what I meant when it comes to reviewing chapter 7 again real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so with that being said, really quick, sorry, on these parts, because you did something here. Can we go back up to that part again? You did something very, very special here when it came to reveal what's at stake. And you said something really important here. And I just want to point this out because when we're talking about the marriage, you said it without saying it.
Yeah.
This is how you truly get into the mind of your audience, because you're just you're describing something, and I don't literally have to say, "Are you struggling with your marriage?" Like that's a crappy question. Some marketers will literally tell you need to call out the pain and ask them a question. Struggling in your marriage, struggling with addiction, struggling with this. Well, let us talk to you and blah, 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 and help you through it. Here. You see him shaking his head? That is common in marketing.
Yeah.
So common.
You can describe the scenario so well, like where they relate to it so much that there's a lot of underlying feelings and fears that come to surface in their own minds. And you're not calling them out, so you're not actually going to like offend them per se, or like, because as soon as you say something, like if I were to say, I'm kind of concerned about my relationship at this point because of my exhaustion, they're going to be like, no, I'm not at that point. But in their mind, they're afraid of that. So like, you can't call them out because they'll deny it. So
Yeah.
you have to kind of just describe the story, describe what they're feeling on the surface, and then they will by themselves go deeper.
And this builds trust. And like that's that empathy thing too. So not only did he describe a point of like this is what I thought he was getting at because there was an empathizing with your wife kind of thing here, but empathy in the fact that you're describing something that you understand and you're illustrating that you understand it on a deeper level. Then, like they now are going to build that, holy crap, these guys get it. Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm now, I can trust these guys. They understand me and my scenario inside and out. Chances of them being able to help me here are much higher than anything else I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we're creating here. So anyway, I'll let you keep going there. I just really felt that was important to spend time there.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So vision. So this is where it's the way shower or the guide that you met. And the guide can be an individual or it can be like a program, a video you saw, like that's kind of it could be anything. What they revealed to you and then reveal the result from taking action. Energy is the real benefit from weight loss. So the next logical question is, how do we accomplish that energy level without spending hours in the gym and starving ourselves? Okay, so the way sure you met, the answer is ABC supplement. That's the name of my made up supplement. All right. So I'm introducing the way shower.
Yeah.
Energy is a direct result of the nutrients going into your body versus the amount of energy used throughout the day. So what they revealed to you, I'm kind of explaining that. So if you relate to the story above, you're simply using more energy than you are consuming the right nutrients. ABC supplement is the easiest way to give your body the nutrients it needs without drastic changes to your diet. Okay, reveal the results. So I kind of implied.
And another way of knowing a little bit about diet here, and again, like as he said, this is not, but the energy, using more energy or consuming more energy than you need for the right, that can be flipped too. Like from our standpoint, I like it's either you're not getting the right nutrients because you're not getting the right macronutrients and you're not getting what's needed in order to operate at your highest level. But some people are literally, and I'd say I'm one of those guys every once in a while that eat more than what I need. And that's almost like, if you look at it, like to describe it, it's like if you have a fire and you put on a whole bunch of wood at once, takes a really long time for the fire to burn all that wood, right? Versus putting in the right amount of wood with the right amount of bark, with the right amount of gas, with the right amount, and then boom, you got yourself a really lit up system, right? Like, yeah. So, but anyway.
Yeah, Brian's more of a fitness expert than I am for sure. Like I said, I'm just making this up.
Yeah, love it.
And then there's expectation. Describe how life is different, the future to come, that's really important, future pacing, and overcome objections. This allows for more endurance with everyday life, and especially for family life, describing how life is different. Your family wants to spend quality time with you, and your wife deserves a break. Time to take control and have that energy, that needed energy. This is not a magic pill. I'm starting to overcome those objections. There will be some minor eating habits that will need to change. Nothing drastic like keto. And there will be some needed exercise, but nothing that takes longer than 30 minutes a day. Boom. I handled 2 objections right there. So you mean I don't have to change any eating habits? No, you do. It's just not going to be crazy like keto. And you mean I don't have to exercise? No, you do. It's just 30 minutes a day, right? Yeah. So handling a couple objections.
Yeah. Love it. So good.
Results. So this is where we got 2 more little sections here. List out the strategy process to win, old world versus new world. So again, at the beginning, I mentioned the 3 pillars, the 3 key pillars, right? I'm finally closing that loop. Okay. Now for the 3 pillars to weight loss for fathers. Number 1, perspective. Most people view a new diet or exercise regimen as something they have to do in order to lose weight. Instead, it's time to look at it as a full lifestyle change that you're willing to commit to forever. The actual strategy changes depending on body type, current weight, and goal weight. But the decision to have a newfound energy has to be a permanent one. Number 2, ABC supplement. It can be really challenging and expensive to get the right nutrients from normal foods. That's why we created ABC supplements, so that your normal eating habits don't have to change very much, but you still get what you need. And number 3, healthy habits. We have some education videos to help you make the minor adjustments to your daily eating habits and exercise routines. These minor changes help generate massive improvements.
Dang.
And then we go into trust and call to action.
So good.
Justify why you're giving them the solution, because some people are like, why would you just tell me that? Like, you're not charging me? Reverse the risk and then paint the dream and have your call to action. Naturally, there are much more details to present. Okay, so this is what me justifying things like, what's in ABC supplement? Where do I get those education videos? And how much is it? All those things can be found on the next page.
You also got an elephant in the room question there too. Like you pulled it. It's good.
How much is it?
Yeah.
At this point, people are asking. So call it out.
Yeah.
All those things can be found on the next page. We include everything you need for success free, and it should say complimentary. It's a better word.
Yeah.
Completely complimentary with every container of ABC supplement. The best part, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Invest in your health, call to action. Invest in your health and follow our strategies to get results, or we'll refund you 100%.
Risk mitigation.
Yeah, so reversing the risk.
Yeah.
Right here. No one else offers such a great deal. Can't wait to see your results. Okay, there you have it. Now all you have to do is remove the formula template parts like context, open loop, etc., and you have your base copy. Again, this can be used for ads, landing page copy, VSLs, social media posts, etc. Now we need to create your compelling offer that inspires your audience to action. Okay? Questions or anything on that, Brian?
Dude, this is so good. I'm glued. It's so good. So good.
Okay. I love the offer creation section. I did something funny here. I think it's funny anyway.
Nice.
All right. So Brian mentioned a few key points to creating an offer that are valid, and I recommend reviewing that section in chapter 8.
Especially because I made a massive, I had a wicked awesome fail. And we talked about it later, by the way. I accidentally didn't move a section because the first area where I was like, it was supposed to be 10 times the value. That's for a high ticket item. And typically those rules don't always apply. So I was going down the right path. I just needed to move some things around. So I'm going to go do that for next season. Anyways, enjoy the massive fail on YouTube and on the podcast. It was pretty funny.
So I actually stuck with the 10x rule for the most part here too.
Awesome.
So what my job is here in this chapter is to help you easily create your value stack. The greatest thing to remember when making an offer is to understand that when you buy a product, you end up with another problem. So if you buy a computer, you need to protect against viruses. If you buy a bed, you need sheets and blankets. If you buy a car, you need insurance. The list goes on. With literally any product sold, there are other problems that go along with it. I'm going to go through 2 examples. One will be my made-up ABC supplement, and the other will be chicken. I just wanted to do something that seems impossible to prove a point here. So when someone buys the supplement that I wrote about above, what problems or questions will they have? I came up with 5. Number 1, some eating habits will need to change in order to get the results. Number 2, exercise is required for results. Number 3, maybe they don't have a gym nearby or workout equipment. Number 4, they have no way of mixing the supplement. And number 5, they need accountability. Those 5 problems will help shape my offer. All I have to do is provide solutions to these problems. So Number 1, eating habits. We have education videos on eating habits. Number 2, exercise. We have education videos for exercise. Number 3, they don't have a gym nearby or workout equipment. We can offer something called a gorilla bar. It's awesome.
Gorilla bow.
It's this thing. Gorilla bow. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's an awesome little thing you can work out at home with. Number 4, they don't have anything to mix it with. So we'll give them a branded shaker bottle with every purchase. And number 5, they need accountability. We have an online Facebook group to hold them accountable. As simple as that seems, there's one more layer of offers to keep in mind. Each solution presented needs to cover at least 3 of 4 categories. You need to have something physical, something written, something video or audio, and something miscellaneous, such as a Facebook group. So I have videos, something physical, and a Facebook group in that offer. So that's awesome. From there, you just need to put a value to each item, and typically you want the total to be 10x the actual price they pay. So let's say ABC supplement is $75 for a 30-day supply. This is a premium supplement, so it's a little more pricey. I would list out my offer like this. Here's what you get. ABC supplement, $97 value. Eating habit videos, $197 value. Exercise videos, $197 value. Shaker bottle, $20 value. Accountability group, $297 value. Total value is $808. Today only $75. See, it's basically 10x here.
Love it.
Okay. Notice I did not put the gorilla bow in there. That's because that would be a separate product that they would have to pay for. So I would add the gorilla bow as what's called an order bump. Basically, right above the pay now button, there would be a picture of the gorilla bow, and it would say something like, don't have time to go to a gym? Get this bow now for 50% off. Was $497, now $250, or something along those lines. And that's how you create an offer. So let's look at selling a whole chicken. Isn't that ridiculous?
And by the way, Zach is getting in more and more into farming all the time. So This is all real life stuff. I swear he's building his next campaign right now. This is awesome.
Yes, that's exactly it. I'm multitasking. So I even say that here. So I run a small homestead where I live, and we will be selling chickens this year. Most farmers sell whole chickens at $15 to $20. The end. What we'll be doing is applying our marketing knowledge to this particular industry. So what problems will people have when buying a chicken? Number 1, how do I cook it? Number 2, what goes well with chicken that can help fill people's tummies? Number 3, how do I make sure it doesn't cook dry? Number 4, what seasonings should I use? And then for me, I want customers coming back for more chicken every single month. And so I want to provide incentives for loyalty as well. Here's how I would provide solutions. Number 1, a recipe. It's something written, a new recipe every week. Another part of that is I can include videos of us making the recipe. Number 2, includes vegetables needed to cook the recipe. That's something physical. Number 3, brining instructions. It's a video. And number 4, seasonings included with the purchase. Physical.
This is so exciting. You guys realize that, like, listen, you guys should be taking notes. You should be writing things down. And why he is literally going to create a freaking movement. That whole community is going to be eating the same thing every week.
Yep.
Okay. And they're going to be so excited. What are we eating this week, honey? Let's go see our chicken guy. He'll show us.
I had a lot of fun with this chapter here.
Oh, so good.
So see how I covered 3 of the 4 categories and I helped them solve their problems. Now I would also give them $5 off for every referral they bring, or if they subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Something like that. Because remember, if the normal price point is $15 to $20, I would say normally it's $20, but I would freely offer $5 off, right?
Oh, dude, this is
The
so good.
recipe changing every week actually helps to bring them in frequently to keep buying our expensive chicken as well. So here's the stack. Chicken, $27 value. Recipe, $7 value. Cooking directions video, $47 value. Vegetables, $37 value. Seasonings, $17 value. Brining video, $27 value. Total value of $162. First time buyers, $15 for the chicken.
Holy crap. Look, what was the original price that normal guys actually sell these chickens for again?
It was 15 to 20.
15 to 20. So
Yeah.
you already got a reference to the competitors, and then
Yeah.
look at that value stack. Like you're dumbass if you don't go see these guys every week.
Right.
I just this is how you very kindly make somebody feel stupid for not buying from you.
Because I'm not discounting anything.
No,
All
you're
I'm
just
doing is
adding
increasing value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good.
So I hope this was helpful. So now you know how to design a landing page, how to create a strong and unique message, how to write compelling copy, and how to create a 100% no-brainer offer. And that is chapter 9.
Wow. All I gotta say is wow. Zach, that was so good. Like last time Eric said that he felt like it was so enriching and full that he felt like he was drinking from a fire hose. I think this time he's gonna feel like he just jumped off a waterfall. It's gonna be so good. So good. So good. Oh man, dude, that was powerful. I'm going to, with your permission. No, it's my Zoom link. I already took host back. I am now sharing the page. That was that not cool, or was that not cool? Like that was like so good, like crazy good. Like if you're a first time person here right now listening to this, I would just be like, holy value. Like this is the way that I personally like to like do business, and everything that we do. I'm always thinking to myself, would I want that? Is that something I would want? Like every offer that we piece together, that's one of the filters. And so when you're creating your offer, you should be asking yourself the same. Mm-hmm. Is this something that I would want?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then you're probably on the right path. Now you need to, at the same time, prove that along the way with, talking with your audience and figuring out exactly what they want. Mm-hmm. But usually your gut's going to be a really good indication starter to being able to get there. So we started a gut feeling. Okay. And I got so many ideas, even just from reading this today, like that cool part where you were all like, I'll give them $5 off. They subscribe to the YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. Like already I'm like, man, we just created a YouTube channel. What kind of really cool things can we do for our audience? For going on the podcast and leaving a review and taking a screenshot, send it back to us. Here's what we'll do, all that kind of stuff. So many really great ideas. We're definitely going to implement that. And we talked about this last week, and we haven't updated this yet. If you guys only saw what we've got going on right now, you'd be your eyeballs would be spinning in their sockets, or your head be spinning, one of the two, or both, one the other way and the other one the other way. But ultimately, it is exciting times. Okay, and right now we haven't changed this page, and because we haven't changed this page, you can literally get what's on this page. We're going to be throwing in a lot more value on top of this, but so far we have had over 20 people enroll in this program right now. And as of April 1st, the price is about to go up here, but okay, here's what you need to know, and here's what you're going to get. But the ebook, the audio book, and the copy of Passion to Profits, everything that we're reading right now, the final draft, you're going to get it. And you're also going to have your name in the book. That's important. I actually have it here. Your name credited in the book as a founder of this. So that's huge, right? So like, for example, I've got, best-selling author as a number one international best-selling author. Again, not a New York Times best-selling author yet, but it was Amazon, that's a good place to start. Okay, this book is going to be a best-selling book again. Zach's now going to be a best-selling author, and then everybody who has been Zach Shanky, not just anybody, but Zach.
I said woohoo.
Oh, woohoo! I thought you said who now?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Zach Shanky, he's going to be a best-selling author. And then everybody who is involved with this book, you get credited as a founder of this book. So you're a founder of a best-selling book. So that adds some cred, man. Like, this community is an amazing community. To be a part of this inner circle group is something else. While you're a part of this too, by the way, you get extra support in your business. Like, you basically have an extended marketing and sales team at your disposal that you get to pick the brains of every single week. Yep. And you have exclusive access to a Q&A area where we help address the questions that you have every week as well. So if you ever feel like you're getting stuck, you got frontline access to support through this community. Like, that's huge. The value of that, I think it's insane. Okay. The course, $497 value. So there's a lot of things that Zach went into today, and even in the last chapter and the last few chapters throughout this book, that we go into deeper detail in the exclusive inner circle group with the exclusive course. Okay. So that's important. You're going to get that as well. And that's a $497 value. The weekly coaching, like, these numbers, dude, Zach's a $10,000 a month coach. Okay. One-on-one. That's like, I put it here for $3,600. I'm definitely being conservative with that number. Yeah. Unlimited websites, funnels, CRM, $97 a month. It's like ClickFunnels on steroids. Yeah. Okay. You get ClickFunnels on steroids. And some of our clients, depending on some of the features they want, they're spending upwards to $300 a month. Yep. Okay, so I'm being conservative with that number, but at the very least, you're saving $1,200 on marketing and sales tools a year, every single year through this, and you get grandfathered lifetime access. That's huge. Okay, so all of these things, total value as it stands, the number, let's just say it's $5,286. Okay, the price is going up soon. Make sure you jump in before April 1st. If you do, you're going to get it now for only $120 USD times 3 months. That's basically like a Starbucks coffee a day kind of thing. Or a one-time payment of $300 USD. Okay, so this, like, the value of that is just absolutely insane. So be sure to jump in right now. If you have any questions at all on this website that I'm reading off of, and I'm sharing the screen on right now. If you go to go.convertoncommand.pro/passion to profits now, that is go.convertoncommand.pro/passion -2 -profits-now, or you can do it all in one word. Again, go.convertoncommand.pro/passion to profits now, all one word without the dashes. It'll still work. Then you can actually go to this area where it says ask me anything, and you can submit a video, audio, text, and we will get back to you ASAP and help have any questions that you have answered. And then you can just look at what a few people had to say, some nice things. Some agency owners, actually 3 different agency owners in different spaces, and a 3-time Emmy nominated media designer. And if you want more context, there's all these extra videos to really help drive it home, plus a video on that page. We're going to be updating this. There's a lot more value coming through, but just know, to be a part of this community, you get this thing locked in, and you get consistent support over and over and over again. So we want to thank you so much for being a part of the Convert on Command podcast, to the Inner Circle, Passion to Profits Rockstars. We love you guys, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
100%.
Cheers, y'all.
See you guys.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast, sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.